Hello and welcome to another full body power vinyasa sequence. We will be focusing more on hips today, opening up of our hip flexors and moving in lateral plane, introducing a new planes of movements just to work extra muscles and keep our bones healthy in our hip joint. Take the practice at your own pace, make modifications wherever required, or if you can dial it up a notch, feel free to do that. And also comment below, let me know what extra creativeness you added to the practice. If you're used to having props in your practice, have it handy, but other than that we will not need much today. So whenever you're ready, I'll meet you on the mat. Come to the front of the mat, make sure that your feet are directly under your hips and tuck your tailbone, engage your core. We'll go through a few rounds of sun salutation variation just to warm up our body. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, lifting your heels off the mat. Exhale, fold forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, slightly bend at your knees and bring your hands alongside your ears. Every exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms and pull your elbows in line with your shoulders. We'll do that 5 times. Fold forward, palm the mat, step your right foot back, plant your foot at a 45-degree angle and come all the way up into warrior 1. The weight is on the knife edge side of your back foot. Frame the front foot, flow through your chaturanga, upward facing dog, all the way back, downward facing dog. Bring your gaze towards your palms, squeeze your elbows and bring your forearms down on the mat, coming into a dolphin. Point your right foot, lift your right leg, 3-legged dolphin, square your hips and work towards bringing your left heel down. Switch sides, left leg up, 3-legged dolphin. Walk back into a forearm plank. Bring your right forearm parallel to the short edge. Open up into a side plank. Left forearm down on the mat, parallel to the short edge. Open up into a side plank. We'll do 3 sets more. Rolling into a side plank, alternating the sides. Every time you come into a side plank, make sure that you're stacking your hips and lift your hips away from the mat. Come back into your forearm plank. Bring your hips down, coming into a swings. Squeeze your glutes. Bring the palms to the corners of the mat. Lift your elbows. Bring your chest all the way down. Extend your hands alongside your ears. Lift your chest up. Lift your feet off the mat. Every exhale, bring your palms alongside your thighs and bring it back. 4 more. Come back into your swings. Press through the tops of your feet. Tuck your toes, lift your hips back up, forearm plank, walk back into your dolphin, bend your knees, bring your gaze to the top of the mat. As you lift your elbows, shoot into a full plank, flow through your chaturanga, upward facing dog, back to downward dog. Take a breath. Lift your heels, bend at your knees. You can either hop or walk to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, fold forward. As you come up, sink your hips down. Bring your arms alongside your ears, come into a chair and come all the way back up, Tadasana. We'll take that flow on the other side. Sweep your arms up, lift your heels off the mat, swan dive, fold forward. Halfway lift, slight bend at your knees, bring your arms alongside your ears, cactus your arms, pull your elbows back to your shoulders, in line with your shoulders a couple of times. Fold forward. Halfway lift, palm the mat, step your left foot back. Left foot is at an angle of 45 degrees. Come up into warrior one. Squeeze your inner thighs. Weight is on the knife edge side of your back foot. Frame your front foot. Flow through your chaturanga. Upward dog. Come all the way back, downward facing dog. Bring the gaze to the front of the mat. Squeeze at your elbows. Transition to dolphin. Lift your left leg up, three-legged dolphin. Switch sides, right leg up. Keep the back of your neck long. Walk back, forearm plank. Bring your hips down onto the mat. Come into swings. Palms come to the corners of the mat. Lift your elbows up. Press through the tops of your feet. Come all the way down. Bring the chest down onto the mat. Clasp your fingers behind your back. Extend your elbows and lift all the way up into a locust variation. And hold here for 5 counts. Release. Forearms back down. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees up. Engage your core. Lift your hips off the mat. Walk back into dolphin. Bend at your knees. Bring the gaze to your palms and shoot into a full plank through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. All the way back. Downward dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, either hop or walk to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, fold forward, all the way back up into Tadasana. Next breath, bring your left knee into your chest, one-legged Tadasana. Left foot comes to the inside of your right thigh, transitioning into a tree. Optional to bring your hands alongside your ears, grow tall with your torso. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, coming into a figure 4 and sit your hips back. Palm the mat, slowly shift onto the ball mounts of your right leg, coming into a toe balance. Keep your left foot flexed. Roll back onto your right heel, bring your sit bones down and work your sit bones as close as possible to your right heel. Bring your left foot on the outside of your right thigh, right heel to come on the outside of your left hip. Seated twist, wrap your right hand around your left knee and open your chest towards the side of the mat. Grow tall, reach through the crown of your head. Release your twist. Point your left foot. Sweep your left leg all the way around, facing the longest side of the mat. Bring your right heel to your right inner thigh. Make sure that both your sit bones are down on the mat. Walk your hands forward and fold forward, bringing your chest closer to your right knee. Bring your left elbow on the inside of your left thigh. Extend your right hand alongside your ears. Make sure that both your sit bones are down on the mat and rotate open your top shoulder towards the sky. If you can grab hold of your left foot, you can go ahead do that. Keep the back of your neck long. You can also reach for your right knee with your left hand. That will give you an extra leverage. Release, come all the way up. Plant both your palms down on the mat. Plant your left foot down. Shift your hips forward. Right shin comes parallel to the short edge of the mat. Stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Open up into a gate. Keep squeezing your glutes and work your left hip forward. Bring your right palm down on the mat. Extend your left alongside your ears. Both palms come down on the mat or in front of you. Shift your shoulders over your palms. Lift your right knee off the mat. Plant your right foot. Both your feet are parallel. Fold forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Optional to clasp your fingers behind your back and extend your hands. Work towards bringing your palms directly over your shoulders. Halfway lift. Bring your palms directly underneath your shoulders. Bring your heels in so your toes are facing out. Lift up and sink into your goddess. Engage your core. Squeeze your glutes. The weight is on the heels. Extend both your legs. Face the back of the mat. Come on to the toes of your back foot. Sink into high crescent lunge. As you sweep your arms all the way down and up again, shoot yourself forward. Come into a one-legged Tadasana. This time, right knee into your chest. Grow tall in your torso. Place your right foot on the inside of your left leg. Vrikshasana. Optional to bring both your hands over your head. Take a breath. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Sink your hips down. You can bring your palms to your chest. Bring both your palms down on the mat. Shift forward onto the ball mount of your left heel, coming into a figure 4 toe balance, funky variation. Roll back onto your left heel. Walk your hands slowly back and bring your sit bones down on the mat. Keep your left heel as close to your glutes as possible. Lengthen your torso. Open your chest up. Bring your left heel on the outside of your right hip. Right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Wrap your left hand around your right knee and take a twist. Release your twist. Point your right foot. Sweep your leg around. Open up to the longest side of the mat. Bringing your left knee to the inside of your right thigh. Grow tall. Walk your hands forward. Both your sit bones are down on the mat. Fold forward. Bring your right elbow on the inside of your right leg. The aim is to work your right shoulder to the inside of your right leg. Extend your left hand alongside your ears. Lateral side body stretch. It is more important to make sure that both your sit bones are down on the mat and you're rotating your top shoulder up towards the sky. You can bring your right hand on top of your left knee. Reach through the crown of your head. Come all the way back up. Bring your palms down onto the mat or in front of you. Shift forward. So you're bringing your shoulders over your palms. Bring your left shin parallel to the short edge of the mat. Stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Open your arms up into a T. Bring your right palm over your right thigh. Extend your left alongside your ears. Bring your left palm down onto the mat. Extend your right alongside your ears. Bring both palms onto the ground in front of you. Your shoulders are directly over your palms. Tuck your back toe, lift your left knee, bring both feet parallel, fold forward. Halfway lift. Turn your heels in, toes out, sink your hips down, come into a goddess. Optional to bring your elbows in line with your shoulders and hold. Extend both your legs, turn towards the front of the mat, come back into your high crescent lunge. Take one big circle with your hands, and as you sweep up, bring your left knee back into your chest, your back into your one-legged Tadasana. You have an option here to play with going into a full dancers. Catch the inside of your left foot with your left hand behind you, and as you kick into your left hand, hinge from your hips, float into your dancers. Release your dancer back into one-legged Tadasana. Bring your left foot on the inside of your right leg. Hold your Vrikshasana for a breath. Bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh and sink your hips down. Palms come down onto the mat. Roll on to the ball mounts of your right foot. Slowly walk your hands next to your hips. Balance on your toes. Bring your right heel down onto the mat. Walk back with your hands. That will help you bring your sit bones down. Try to work your right heel as close to your right glutes as possible. Keep your left foot flexed. Bring your right foot on the outside of your left hip, left foot on the outside of your right thigh, both sit bones down on the mat. Wrap your right hand around your left knee, take a twist. Face the front of the mat, point your left leg, sweep it all the way out and face the longest side of the mat. Bring both your sit bones down, walk your hands forward, fold forward. Keep your left foot flexed. Bring your left elbow on the inside of your left leg or your left shoulders on the inside of your left leg, and extend your right hand alongside your ears. Catch your left foot if it's available for you. You can also bring your left hand on top of your right knee. Release and bring both palms down on the mat in front of you. Plant your left foot, shift forward so you're bringing your shoulders directly over your palms. Bring your right shin parallel to the short edge. Stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Open your hands out into a T. Left palm comes down onto your left thigh. Extend your right alongside your ears. Bring your right palm down. Extend your left hand alongside your ears and work your right hip towards the front of the mat. Bring both hands back in front of you. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, bring both feet parallel, fold into your wide-legged forward fold. You can take any variation with your hands. Halfway lift. Bring your heels in, toes out, sink your hips and sit into your goddess. Extend both legs, face the back edge of the mat, high crescent lunge. You can add a twist here. You can keep it active or you can deepen it by bringing your left hand on the outside of your right thigh. Back into your high crescent lunge. Take a big circle with your hands, and as you're sweeping back up, bring your back knee into your chest. One-legged Tadasana. Catch the inside of your right foot behind you, and as you kick into your right hand, float into your dances. Release your dancers. Woo. Back to one-legged Tadasana. Bring your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Grow tall with your torso. Bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Sink your hips down. You should feel the heat building in your body by now. Both palms come down onto the mat, shift forward, roll onto your left toes. Slowly walk your hands back towards your hips. Roll back onto your left heel, walking your hands back. Bring your sit bones down onto the mat. Grow tall in your spine. Open your chest. Bring your right foot on the outside of your left thigh, left foot on the outside of your right hip. Wrap your left hand around your knee and take a twist. I have a duck walking right in front of me in my backyard. Release your twist. Point your right toes. Sweep your leg all the way around. Face the longest side of the mat. Flex your right foot. Make sure both your sit bones are down. Walk your palms forward and fold. Bring your right elbow on the inside of your right thigh. Extend your left hand alongside your ears. Open your top shoulder towards the sky. Make sure that both your sit bones are down on the mat. And reach through the crown of your head. Optional to bring your right palm on your left knee. Release. Bring your palms in front of you. Plant your right foot, shift forward and come into your wide-legged forward fold. Any variation with your hands. Halfway lift, heels in, toes out, goddess. Face the front of the mat, high crescent lunge. Take a twist if you did on the other side. Back into your high crescent lunge. Take a full rotation with your hands, and as you are sweeping it back up, bring your left knee back into your chest. Both feet down on the mat. Tadasana. Make sure that both your feet are directly underneath your hips. Engage your core. Lift your heels off the mat and bend at your knees, and slowly bring your sit bones to rest on your heels. You're back into your toe balance. Clasp your fingers behind your back. Open your chest up towards the sky. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Lift your hips up. From here you have an option to bring your palms to your lower back, and as you squeeze your glutes, push your hips towards the front. Open your chest up towards the sky, coming into a supported camel. Keep squeezing your elbows together. Release your camel. Come back onto your toes. Bring your sit bones down. Hug your right knee to your chest. Extend your left leg. Your left leg is floating. Left foot is pointed. Slowly roll all the way back down onto the mat. Either you can bring your fingers crisscrossed around your right foot, or you can hold your right big toe with your two-piece fingers. Extend your leg Your shoulder blades are still off the mat. Come all the way down, bring your shoulders back down on the mat, release your left leg onto the floor. From here, switch your hands. Your left hand is now holding your right foot, and slowly drop your right foot on the outside of your left hip. Take a twist. Slowly bring your right leg back up. You are now facing the sky. Grab hold of your right big toe with your right hand and open your leg towards the right side. So your right foot comes on the outside of your right hip. Both your hips are facing the sky, and make sure that you are not lifting your left hip or left glute off the mat. Come back to the center. Bring your right knee back into your chest. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat. You can clasp behind your right knee and roll all the way up into a Navasana. You can either stay with your legs bent or extend both your legs. Bring your left leg down. Bring right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Left hand comes on the top of your right knee, and right hand reaches for your left foot. A twisted half butterfly. Release your twist. Face the front of the mat again. Come back into your boat. Bring your feet down on the mat. Roll all the way back up into your toe balance. Hook your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh, coming into a twist. Slowly lift your hips off of your heels, and you can either float on your tippy toes or bring your heels down. You're in a twisted chair. Optional to extend your hands or keep your palms in prayer. Lift your right heel off the mat. Come into a twisted one-legged Tadasana. Grab hold on the outside of your right foot with your left hand. Take a standing twist. Release your twist. Back to Tadasana. Tuck your tailbone. Lift your heels off the mat. Bend at your knees. Bring your sit bones onto your heels. Toe balance. Clasp your fingers behind you. Open your chest up towards the sky. Shift your knees forward and bring them onto the mat. Lift your hips up, and here optional to take a supported camel, or you can come into a full camel variation. Release your camel, back into your toe balance, roll back, bring your heels down and sit bones come down onto the mat. Float your right leg, point your right foot, bring your left knee into your chest and slowly roll all the way down. You are still keeping your shoulders floating. Grab hold of your left big toe with your two-piece fingers. Extend your left leg. Now bring your shoulder blades down onto the mat. Shift your hands. So now right hand is holding your left foot, and bring your left leg, left foot on the outside of your right hip. Your chest is still facing the top, facing the sky. Bring your leg back to center. Grab hold of your left big toe with your left hand and drop your left foot on the outside of your left hip. Go only as far down as you can without lifting your right hip off the mat. Breathe into this deep hip opener. Come back to center. Grab behind your left knee, bend your leg, bring your knee to your chest, float your right leg again and come all the way up into a Navasana. Extend your right leg back, bring your right leg down on the mat, left foot comes on the inside of your right leg. Right hand on the out top of your left knee, left hand reaches for your right leg. Half butterfly, twisted half butterfly. Release your twist, back to your Navasana. Bring your feet down on the mat, roll back onto your toe balance. Palms to chest, hook your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Slowly lift your hips off the mat. Bring your heels down. Twisted chair. Optional to extend both your hands. Release your hands. Keep the twist. Lift your left heel off the mat. Bring your left knee into your chest. Twisted one-legged Tadasana. Grab hold on the outside of your left foot. Extend your left leg. Standing twist. Release your twist. Tadasana. Lift your heels off the mat. Sit your hips down, toe balance. Come all the way down. Sit bones down on the mat and extend both your legs forward. Bring your palms beside your hips. You can have your palms slightly turned out and lift your hips off the mat and pull your hips in between your hands. Bend your knees, shift forward and lift your hips up. Reverse tabletop. Bring your hips down. Bring it in between your hands. Keep it lifted. Lift up into a reverse tabletop. And from here, lift your right hand off the mat. Bring it all the way around next to your left. Scoop your left leg between your hands and come into your Skandasana. Your left toes are pointing towards the sky. Optional to bind your Skandasana. Release your bind. Bring your sit bones down. And bring your right knee in line with your left knee, facing the back of the mat. Your chest is facing the extended leg. You can bring your right knee in line with your hips if that helps, or slightly forward. Both your sit bones are down. Fold forward onto your extended leg. Lift back up. Lift your right knee back up. Transition back into your Skandasana. This might be a little all over the place, but however you can come back to Skandasana. Plant both your palms. Plant your left foot and bring it back, thread it back behind your hands and bring your right hand all the way back, coming into your reverse tabletop. Scoop your hips in between your hands. Keep your hips floating. Extend both your legs. Lift back into your reverse tabletop. One more time. Lift back into your reverse tabletop, and this time lift your right hand. Bring it in line with your left. Scoop your left leg all the way behind your hands. Come into Skandasana on the other side. Optional to bind. Plant your palms, bring your sit bones down, face the extended leg. You can bring your right knee in line with your hips or slightly forward and fold onto your extended leg. Lift up, plant your left foot, lift back into your Skandasana, plant both your palms, plant your right foot, thread your right leg back behind your hands and back into your reverse tabletop. We'll do that once more on both sides. So lift your right hand, bring it in line with your left, thread your left foot behind your hands, transition into Skandasana. Bring your sit bones down, bring your right knee down onto the mat, face your extended leg, fold forward. Lift back up, lift your right knee, come back into Skandasana. Plant both your palms, plant your left foot, thread your left leg back towards your right, rotate back into your reverse tabletop. Lift your left hand, bring it in line with your right, thread your right leg behind your hands, Skandasana. Sit bones come down, face your extended leg, fold forward. Lift back up, transition back, Skandasana. Palms come down onto the ground and thread your right leg back towards the front. Come back into your reverse tabletop. Bring your hips towards your heels. Walk forward into your toe balance. Come all the way back up, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your palms. Walk back into full plank. Flow through your chaturanga. Back to downward dog. And as you shift your hips forward, bring your knees down and open your knees. Come all the way down into your frog variation. Make sure that your knees are in line with your hips, your ankles are in line with your knees. You can stay here if this is good enough, or you can bring your chest down on the mat, bring your shin down onto the mat, clasp your fingers behind your back and work to bring your palms over your shoulders. Release your clasp, bring your palms next to your chest, keep your frog and slowly lift your chest off the mat, coming into this frog upward dog mishmash. Bring your feet in, knees in, come all the way down onto the mat. Extend your left hand alongside your shoulders. Rotate and bring your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Scorpion twist. And as you bring your hips back down onto the mat, extend your right leg and bring your right foot in line with your right and lift up. So you're in a half middle split upward dog variation. If you want to make it extra funky, extend your right hand alongside your ears. Bring that down. Come all the way down. Bring your chest down onto the mat. Bring your right leg in line with your left. Lift up into upward dog. Back into downward facing dog. Lift your heels off the mat. Bend your knees. Bring your knees down. Open your knees and come into a frog all the way down onto the mat. Bring your chin to the mat, clasp your fingers behind your back and open your shoulders. Release your clasp, palms come next to your chest, lift up into a upward dog frog variation. Release that, heels come in, extend both your legs, right hand extends alongside the shoulder, take a scorpion twist, bringing your left foot on the outside of your right hip. Release your twist, and as you release, point your left toes, sweep your left leg in line with your hips, so your left foot is on the outside of your left hip. Lift up into a upward dog. Either stay here or lift your left hand alongside your ears. Release, bring your leg all the way back, upward dog, shift back, downward facing dog. We'll do that one more time so you get used to it. Shift forward, bring your knees down, all the way down into your frog. Bring your chest down, chin down, clasp your fingers behind your back. Work towards bringing your palms directly over your shoulders in your frog. Release your clasp, palms come next to your chest. Lift your chest up, upward dog variation. Release your back bend, extend both your legs, left hand in line with your shoulders, right foot on the outside of your left hip. Take a shoulder opener, scorpion twist. Come back to center, and as you are coming back to center, extend your right leg. Bring your right foot in line with your right hip and lift up into an upward dog. Make it extra funky by bringing your right hand alongside your ears. Come back down. Bring your right foot back, upward facing dog, shift back, downward dog, back to your frog, shin down, clasp your fingers, chin down, clasp your fingers behind your back, release your clasp, palms next to your chest, open, lift up into an upward dog in your frog. Release your back bend, bring your legs, extend your legs all the way straight, extend your right hand in line with your shoulders, left foot on the outside of your right hip. Come back to center and bring your left foot on the outside of your left hip, leg all the way extended. Lift up into your upward dog variation. Make it extra funky. Bring your left hand alongside your ears. Release that. Bring your left foot back. Now you are in your upward facing dog. Shift back, downward facing dog. Bring your knees down, cross your legs, come into a seated position, and we'll end our practice as always in a back bend. And this is completely optional. If you're toasted by now, you can just take a Shavasana. I'll just do one back bend, and if you're with me, come all the way back down onto the mat. You can take a bridge or a full wheel. Dig your heels down into the mat and squeeze your glutes, tuck your tailbone, lift your hips off the mat. and stay in your bridge if this is good enough for you, or if you want to go into a full wheel, bring your palms next to your ears, and next exhale, push all the way up into your full wheel. If you feel your shoulders are really warm and open, you can bring your forearms down, coming into a deeper back bend. Work your chest through your shoulders. Release all the way down onto the mat. And we'll end our practice in Shavasana. Thank you so much for choosing to be crazy with me and sticking with this funky practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Close your eyes, take a few breaths, relax in your face, and whenever you're ready, turn onto one side and slowly come back up. I hope you had fun doing that funky practice with me and you felt the heat building up in the body. If you did, please leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you on the mat next week. Bye.